And we are live. My name's Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host, Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals, so we are the political orphans. Here are the top stories of the day. What really happened yesterday at the Canada First protests? It's estimated that between 110,000 people and 1 million people showed up to the Unite the Kingdom protest yesterday in the UK. Pierre Polieff admits that he's worried for the safety of his family and himself after receiving multiple death threats and more. Get your comments ready because the show starts now. What's going on, man? What? Oh,
what's happening, brother?
There you go.
Yeah, Pierre, you can relax, brother. No one gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about no. Yeah, I'm saying, Pierre, you can relax, man. Nobody gives a shit about you.
No
one cares enough to assassinate you, brother.
I had the same reaction when I saw the video. I'm gonna.
Yeah, he just wants to fit in.
I'm gonna show you the video. Yeah, and I'm like,
okay.
Everywhere on my Instagram, everywhere on Next, people are like, oh, we gotta protect this man at all costs. I'm like,
protect Pierre. No, brother. They're not gonna waste a bullet on him.
If they couldn't protect, if the Secret Service couldn't protect Donald Trump, good fucking luck with the RCMP, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. That I don't.
They're probably gonna send him to midget to protect him, but either way, we'll talk about it. But when I saw that video, I'm happy I wasn't drinking anything because I would have just
spit out your coffee.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, there's a bunch of things, man. There's obviously there's a protest that
Yeah, I was just gonna say the Charlie Kirk story. It's still like drowning out
100%.
So many other. It's still everywhere.
You know, we recorded our second episode of the Saturday night, late night mashup yesterday.
How'd it go?
Within the first 10 minutes, 2 guests were gone.
Why?
So we had Goldie Gamari.
Yeah, I saw Goldie. Me. I took a look there. I was like, oh, who's this?
So Goldie left within the first 10 minutes. And so did another guy.
Like in anger, in a huff, like what?
Yeah.
What
Yeah. Michael Yon. So we're gonna have Gamari back on the show on Wednesday.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get back Michael Yon on the other show because it seems like there was a massive miscommunication. But so Goldie does like we do a roundtable type of deal.
Yep.
And then just introduce themselves and all that stuff. And then, you just say that I just asked a question to get the ball rolling. How do you feel about Charlie Kirk? Like, what does Charlie Kirk mean to you, right?
Sure.
I thought that was a pretty fucking simple question, but it seems like it was loaded as shit. And so Goldie went. I can't remember exactly what she said, but then Michael Yon. I don't know the guy. This, I think, is what's good about that show is that Jason invites certain people. I invite other people. They don't know each other. We don't vet each other's people, right? We just fucking show up and start recording. And he starts going right into Zionist stuff. And you know what? I don't have any problem with that. Like, no problem at all. You want to talk about that? No problem. Yep. But then literally within 30 seconds, he's starting to call... he said something, I don't remember exactly, I'd have to rewatch to know the exact words, but he said something, Goldie didn't like it, she said something, he's like, you're probably a Zionist, and then I'm like, they literally like, name calling, like you start calling people Zionists, stuff. So I'm just like, whoa, okay, can we stop this? Goldie's out, she already left, and I'm just like, hey, and now I'm talking to Michael, I'm like, hey man, like, can we just not do the name calling? Like, this is the whole point of the show, is to be able to have a conversation. He's like, I got up early for this because he's out of Thailand. I'm out. Boop. And he leaves. I'm literally sitting there. We were 6, we're now 4. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? So I was trying to diffuse the situation, but it turned out that I did not do a good job and I just pissed off. I guess, I don't know. I'd have to talk. I hope I get to talk to Michael Yon this week, try to figure it out, because supposedly it got heated for no reason. And either way, it was just, it's one of those things. That was the first time, like, I ripped into Adam Swart this week. He never left, right? He just stayed there. And to his credit, he took my criticism of him. He just stayed there. As much as he rubbed me the wrong way the whole time, he never left. Like, that dude did not give a fuck about what I thought of him, right? And yesterday, within the first one, I didn't even rip into anybody. I just tried to diffuse the situation, and 2 guests were gone.
were you like, what the fuck just happened here? Like,
I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah, okay.
Am I that tired? Like, what the fuck, man?
Welp.
But at the same time, you know, when we're gonna have mashups like that, you have to expect that this is gonna happen.
Yep,
but as I was telling Jason behind closed doors today, just saying maybe we need to make sure they show up 10-15 minutes in advance and kind of break it down to say this is this is what we're gonna do.
Iron that shit out, yeah.
Let's just make sure that we try not to go the name calling and just keep it civil. And if it doesn't, I can try to manage it, but like try to do the ref. Let people speak. Don't cut them off. So it was just like a fucking gong show, and it's my fault. I'll take 100% of the blame for that one. I probably didn't handle it properly, but I was like, what the fuck? I tried to diffuse the situation. It just pissed off more.
Oh yeah, you shit the bed big time. No, brother, you shit the bed.
But that's
funny
fine.
Because
like,
I was gonna say, yeah, you definitely want to stay away from Israel Palestine, just because it's such a polarizing topic. But you didn't even say that. You were talking about Charlie Kirk. Like, where you sitting there like, how the fuck did we even get on this topic here?
But that's what I kind of, you know, yesterday I talked about that a lot. There's even somebody that reached out to us, that reached out to me to have a further conversation about what happened. And he's a really prominent guy. Like, I can't say who he is just yet, but somebody saw the show and he's like, hey man, you kept on asking the same question and it doesn't seem you really got an answer, but I'd like to talk about it. And that guy's been on massive podcasts. So it's going to be for a very interesting conversation. I'll talk to him this week to see why he reached out exactly. But all to say that, I'm like, can we stay away from, is there a way for us to stay away from international news and focus on Canada, focus on North America? Is that possible?
I mean, I think you don't necessarily want to do that because, I mean, for example, that would mean you'd have to stay away from Charlie Kirk. And I mean, how can you have a...
No, but that's not what I mean. Let me rephrase what I mean. What I mean is that we know that there's issues in North America, right? Our issues are different than the rest of the world because we are kind of a massive island. We are protected from the rest. We kind of can, if we really wanted to, it'd be easier for us to manage the problem of, let's say, mass immigration if we wanted to. If that was the goal, it'd be easier. So my point I was trying to make yesterday is, instead of talking about the international issue, what's causing the issues that most people already have an idea, how do we relate this to the average person, to the average Canadian, so that they feel that they need to do something? How do we relate the fact of, let's say, mass immigration and people that come here to pray in the street and show power? How do we relate that to the average person and say, this is an issue? This is one of the reasons why one out of 4 Canadians is hurting, can barely afford daily necessities. How do we take the concept of our social state, our social welfare, and open borders and mirror that so that the average Canadian can say, I'm fucking done with this shit. We need to change this, right? But this is always the problem. I kept on asking the question. I never really got an answer, but outside it, it's going to take a long time. But yeah. So he reached out regarding that.
Oh, nice. Logan White says, evening, Rob. Bonjour.
What's going on?
Nico. How's it going, brother? Carmela Wayne says, prayer vigils for Charlie tonight, 7 p.m. Edmonton and Calgary legislative grounds. Yeah, that's man. This is just a huge story, a huge crossover mainstream story, and it's still dominating the news cycle 3, 4, 5 days later, and almost to the point where, like, you know, it almost makes you wonder why, like, regardless of like how you felt about Charlie Kirk, he didn't seem like this kind of it's almost like if MLK got shot, you know what I mean? Like it just feels like it certainly is resonating with a lot of people,
especially the youth. So I saw this post because, again, I follow a lot of Americans. I'm followed by a lot of Americans because I created content almost exclusively for the US for a long time. But here's a post from Andrew Colvett. He's saying that I wanted to share a PACE report from TPUSA. The organization has received over 32,000 inquiries in the past 48 hours to start new campus chapters. To put that into perspective, listen to this, to put that into perspective, Turning Point USA currently has 900 official college chapters and around 1,200 high school chapters with a presence on 3,500 total. Charlie's vision was to have a Club America chapter, our high school brand, in every high school in America, around 23,000. This will come true much faster than he would have expected or possibly imagined. Like 32,000. Can you imagine if that's true? 32,000 people, like 2,000 schools reach out to have a chapter on their schools. So, as much as we can say between you and I that his message wasn't for us. I knew what he was doing. I know people that know him. It's just the message was not for me, was not for you. It was for that 20-year-old, that 18 to 25 generation, 16 to 25, if I had to put numbers on it. Yeah. But just that, they have 3,500 chapters right now between college and high schools in the US. They've received 32,000 inquiries within the past 48 hours. That's insane. So technically, you and I did not realize the impact that he had. But turns out that the youth, maybe he was their MLK for all I know. I don't know. I didn't realize that. I knew who he was. I knew exactly what he was doing. I didn't realize to which extent. Maybe I was mistaken. He was a lot bigger than I thought.
Well, yeah, and I mean, same thing. I knew who he was, and I didn't really think much of him one way or the other. If I had to put how I felt about him before he got shot, probably would have been slightly negative, mostly just because I hadn't really paid attention to him, and it's just sort of a leftover from my sort of liberal left-leaning background. But now that after he died, I've just seen so many clips of him. Forget what he's saying or the message, but just being a decent human being, being a decent person. And regardless of, I still, if I went through his policies and takes, I probably would disagree with most of them. But he is not at all what the left is trying to say that he is. No. And he's a decent person who believed firmly in his opinions, and they were based on Christianity. Like, again, I'm not a Christian, but I respect Christians and their beliefs, and that's really all he held, was pretty mainstream Christian beliefs. Frankly, a lot of them are shared by even many non-Christians.
At least should be. Like, there's a lot of Christian.
He's a big proponent of like just families and taking like just sort of valuing that. And I think those that messaging is needed, because there is a counter messaging going on, and it's originating from the left. Not every liberal, not every leftist, of course, but it definitely exists, that trying to devalue families. It's trying to destroy the nuclear family. And I don't think, the nuclear family is the core family unit that Western civilization is based on. I don't think it's a good thing to try to destroy that.
We were talking about that on the podcast yesterday, and one of the things I was saying is his assassination was meant to divide. Like, either you believe that it was orchestrated, or you believe that there's just people taking advantage of bad situations. It doesn't even matter. You don't even need to believe in conspiracy theories to understand that, like I've said multiple times already, he was the perfect martyr. He was not an extreme by any stretch of the imagination. Like, people are calling him far right. Now I'm seeing a bunch of memes. People are like, what? There's people more far right than Charlie Kirk? And the meme is like, yeah, like 99% of conservatives.
Yeah, most of them.
So, but yeah, what I was going to say though is that guy, his assassination had the power to segregate the left and the right even further. But what it seems to be happening, it's been 5 days since he was shot. Not one protest, not one rally got violent. No violence from the right at all. All you're seeing is, like mentioned in the in the comments that there's a vigil going on right now, and I think it's Sean Foyt that's actually organizing it. There's like 60,000 people watching it. So you're seeing vigils all over the place. You're seeing prayer circles all over the place. So people are responding the way I believe that Charlie Kirk would have wanted for us to react. But what I find interesting is I thought this would further separate the left and the right, and it seems that what it is doing, it's separating the woke from the liberals. It seems that instead of separating the left and the right, it's uniting the right, the centrists, and like the people that are not woke. They're like, what the whoa. I don't agree with this, with assassinating people because I don't like them. Are you kidding me? So it seems that what I thought would happen, the complete opposite, it's starting to happen. And I don't know, we might as well talk about this before we get in the main stories I wanted to talk about. But did you hear about the Manitoba Families Minister, Nahanni Fontaine, and what she said? Did you hear about what she said?
I know that she's one of the celebrators.
So let me play this. I'll show you what she actually said.
A Manitoba cabinet minister is apologizing for sharing a social media post about the killing of American conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Families Minister Nahanni Fontaine has shared another person's post that described Kirk as racist, sexist, and transphobic, calling him a white nationalist mouthpiece. The post's authors said they have no empathy for Kirk, save for his children, who witnessed the killing earlier this week at a Utah university. Fontaine removed the post shortly after, but screenshots have circulated on social media and have drawn criticism. Premier Rob Ambrose says he expressed his concern with Fontaine and asked her to apologize.
And I asked our minister to apologize because I want us to be a force as a government, as you would expect as Manitobans, a force for openness and dialogue and taking the temperature down.
Coalition. Fontaine later issued a brief written statement in which she apologized for sharing the post and said violence has no place in a democracy. Now, this is the second apology from Fontaine in the past few months.
Listen to this, though.
Has no place in a democracy.
This is what's ironic. Listen to this.
Now, this is the second apology from Fontaine in the past few months. In June, she apologized for a hot mic moment where she was caught complaining about an ASL interpreter who was on stage with her.
So here is what she basically shared. She basically said that Charlie Kirk was a racist, xenophobe, transphobic, Islamophobic, sexist, white nationalist mouthpiece who made millions of dollars inciting hatred in this country. And she goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Yep. And then this is the apology. I apologize for sharing a post yesterday on the murder of Charlie Kirk. Violence has no place in our democracy. Political debate is achieved with words and discussion. In a world too often divided, we should strive to show empathy to everyone, even those we don't agree with. This is really one of those posts that she's not apologizing for what she said. She's apologizing for getting caught.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because she didn't.
That's it.
Is there no nothing like not just apology for what I said, but also I was wrong. Like I realized now Charlie is not a racist because I've seen so many clips of him. It's funny how every single quote that I see that's like Charlie wants gays stoned to death or Charlie's against the Civil Rights Act. There's later on you see the actual full clip. And it's almost the exact opposite. For example, the one, Stephen King, the famous author, shared the Charlie wants gays to be stoned to death. And he has since apologized. So I guess fair play on him. He said that wasn't true. But the actual clip is there's someone who was actually even further to the right, who is using the Bible as a justification for something extreme. Like the Leviticus is the book of the Bible using. And Charlie was quoting Leviticus where it says gays should be stoned, but it was in the context of, see, that's crazy. So we shouldn't necessarily interpret everything literally. He was saying the opposite of what they're saying that he said. And this goes exactly to what you're saying. This is why the centrists and the moderate liberals are they're really shifting away from the woke left on this case because they're like, okay, these are all bull-faced lies. Everything you're saying about this guy is false, right? what was the other main criticism? Oh, he opposed the Civil Rights Act. Well, no, he actually didn't. He specifically said the intent behind the Civil Rights Act was honorable and noble, but the downstream effects of it here in 2025, he gave examples of, DEI policy is justified using the Civil Rights Act. So it's entirely appropriate to say that it's being used in wrong ways. That doesn't mean he's racist. And it's crazy the way they're lying about him.
I don't know if you saw the new meme that came out, the one we've talked about before, where guys like you used to be a liberal, I'm a conservative, and then they keep on moving the line and they kind of pushed you in the middle or even to the right. Did you see a new one?
The new one with the shooter?
Yes. I wish I would have kept it. I can't find it right now.
I'll try to find it.
That one is exactly like, this is exactly why people, this is why the left, Charlie Kirk's assassination is kind of unifying the common sense lefties with the centrists, and they're like, hey bro, can we be part of your team now? Do you still have cookies? Because I think we're ready for them
cookies for everybody.
To go back to this minister, the reason I wanting to bring that up, because I made a video about it this weekend, is that woman needs to be fired. She needs to step down. She needs to be canned. You cannot talk like that. It's the same thing as, Cult MTL. Have you ever heard of those people?
Yep, I have. They are government funded.
Did you know that?
I only found it out over the weekend. So people were saying, look, we're funding, the government taxpayer dollars are funding this, and this is the shit that they're saying.
Yep, they're even worse. They're as bad as her. And it was $7,700. I went to the website. I went to the government's website. I found the subsidy, and it's like 77-ish. Like, let's call it $7,800 that they got from the government last year. And that's directly from Guillaume Guilbeault. That twat minister that's been around forever. He's the one funding them. And funny enough, if you go to, I'll make you laugh right now. So Cult, because they blocked me. Right. I criticize Cult MTL all the time, and they blocked me before. They blocked me pretty much everywhere now. But hold on. Let me just, because you heard about Rachel Gilmore, right? I don't remember if we talked about this or not.
Yeah.
So you know that she's back. No, but she's back, and now she wants apologies from Andrew Scheer. She's blaming him for painting a target on his back and all that shit. I'm like, okay, cool. But you know what's funny about that is look at who follows Cult MTL. You're not going to be I don't think that's going to be surprising at all. But so if you look right here, followed by Rachel Gilmore and Stephen Guilbeault, the Minister of Canadian Heritage, and Rachel Gilmore, the journalist victim, the Canadian journalist victim. So funny enough how all of them follow each other. It's how surprising, right?
Yeah. I'm sure I'm surprised she doesn't write for it.
Maybe she does. Maybe she does.
Yeah, possibly she does. The Logan White says, I find it ironic how the left is trying to say the shooter wasn't one of them. Yeah, that's really funny, right? And all the evidence is always like, he's from a conservative family, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, okay, irrelevant when we know that he himself is like, every family has one black sheep who's against, who goes opposite. I'm sure every conservative family has, the one liberal in them, just like many liberal families will have the one conservative. And this idea that like they're ignoring the things he actually says and does, which is direct evidence of his political leanings, for things like that he comes from a conservative family or he was raised around guns, which are very indirect evidence and not strong evidence at all. But it is pretty funny how the circles they're tying themselves into.
But it is dating a tranny and calling Charlie Kirk a fascist is pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know though if he was. But hold on. I don't know if he dated one or was just his roommate, because I saw both. That it was just his roommate, and then it's it's his girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever.
I saw them I saw them interview a neighbor and they were like, "Are you sure that they weren't just like good friends?" It's like, well, they were holding hands and kissing. So I don't know what to tell you.
Well, fuck, man. If you see from some of the articles I've shared, supposedly men now, group of men that are heterosexual, hug each other, hold hands, and they cuddle. Supposedly that's not gay now. It's manly.
No, bro, that's gay. That's definitely gay.
Yeah. I remember coming from a French guy, I'm telling you, is gay.
Yeah.
Is really gay.
Even the French
really,
guy,
really gay.
Yeah, when a French guy's like, "Nah, that shit's gay, bro," you know it's gay.
And they're fucking making eye contact, so that's really gay.
Oh, that's
like,
even
really
super gay.
Looking gaze into
I saw that a while back. It was like one of those articles where it's like the new trend where men have cuddle parties. I'm like, no, bro, that's not a trend. Stop trying to make male cuddle parties a thing. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, hold on. Now I got there you go. That was I think I got it right here.
All right, let me see.
Shit, where is it? At least I got the picture. Like this was the picture on the article, and they were trying to convince us that somehow this was manly. Like this part right here. That was the cover. Like, oh yeah, look at those guys. They do a lot more than cuddling.
Men's cuddling group aims to redefine masculinity. Yeah, it's definitely going to redefine it.
Yeah, there you go. That was the article right there. Yep. That is gay. Gay. Even if they were masculine guys, which none of them are, it would still be super gay. You know, I've done jiu-jitsu for years. I still have a bunch of friends that do, and one of the guys keeps on sending me memes. Like every time I see a gay meme about jiu-jitsu, I send it to him. He sends back the same stuff to me. Bro, jiu-jitsu is a killer of a martial art, but it is gay as shit. Like you have
super
some
gay.
of the gayest.
Oh, yeah. You got balls in your face all the time and shit.
There was a great video of Anderson Silva fighting another guy. I don't remember who he was, but Anderson Silva was renowned for wearing those really tight, small shorts. And then you had the other guy was also wearing the same thing. And what somebody did when they're wrestling on the ground, he just put sensor, like the sensor around the groin area. So you couldn't see, but just the one that pixelates, and you couldn't see the shorts, and you're like, oof, that looks
super gay.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. I agree. Right, what is this, Brazil? I agree. Let's get into it. I think we spoke enough about the gay shit. Let's speak about the news. So as you guys know, yesterday we're supposed to have the organizer on the show on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Didn't work out, but hey, I posted this yesterday. That post actually went viral yesterday, but it was reported that Canada First rally attendees had been kicked out of Christie Pitts in Toronto as hundreds of counter-protesters cheered. So I posted this yesterday. This is what was reported. Here's just to show you. So what's interesting, I'm just going to cut the sound because it's pretty fucking loud, but see how the people in the middle, that's the protest, right? And everything, look at all the surrounding. Like it literally starts around there, and it's like all across, all of this, all of this, all of this. Like literally all around them, those are all counter-protesters. So it literally looks, just from this video alone, that it made sense that they were getting kicked out. Turns out that's not exactly what happened. I have some videos from the organizer himself. I'm going to play them in a second. But did you see? It looks like there was way more people against the protest than there were people showing up for the protest. This is the Canada First rally that was happening this weekend, where in Toronto, yeah.
And it's mostly a protest against immigration policy, correct?
Mostly, yeah. It's mostly, pretty much. I think I can show you a couple of videos because I'll have Joe explain the because I found a video. Hold on, I'm just on his Instagram right now. So let me show you a couple more videos of, because they literally. Oh, well, there you go.
I was there. He says it was crazy.
Let us know.
Yeah.
So
let us know how
so let us know. Yeah, let us know what happened. Did it actually? Did you guys get kicked out? Did you guys? Because from what the video was showing, like the video is kind of showing that they're being kicked out. So that's why I said it is reported.
Who is it again that's being kicked out?
The organizer, the people that were there to protest, Canada First rally, the attendees, the protesters were getting. It seems like they were getting kicked out.
Oh, they got kicked out. Why wouldn't they kick out the counter protesters?
So all the people that were surrounding them were counter protesters. Everything that was behind the police that were counter protesters. So it seems like from the looks of it, and maybe Section 2B can actually confirm this, but it looks like there was more counter protesters than there were protesters. Which that shows me that the state of affair in which we are, like, goddamn. But here's a couple of videos. So after they left, what was it called? Christy Pitts.
Yep.
Here's a video from Pug Daddy 93, which is he's the organizer of this event. Just to give you a bit of an example.
This is our nation! Start deportations! This is our nation! Start deportations! This is our nation! Start deportations! Freedom! 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 Let's go, guys. Real patriots out here, standing up for our country. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. True patriot love in all our sons command.
So you have a bit of an idea of what seems to have happened, and I don't know if Section 2B can explain it if he was there. Mad Lab Press has a video out. Am I right by the videos alone that, and I'm just judging by the videos, I wasn't there by any stretch of the imagination here, but Section 2B, is it true to assume that there was more counter protesters than there were protesters? Because this is what seems to be shown on camera. Maybe I'm wrong here, but it seems like, and it doesn't seem like it was even close.
Yeah, the turnout looks low, but ironically, even though it started as a Canadian thing and only got picked up in the UK, looks like the UK turnout was much bigger.
I'll show it to you. That's the next thing we're going to talk about. Yeah, not even a fucking close. Like, not even close.
Yes.
But
should we take a few comments before we go on?
But before we do, yeah, but I'm not done yet. So
okay.
Here is Joe Abgilar, which is the name. I probably bastardizing his name. Like, he has a hard to pronounce. No, it's not Aguilar.
Not Aguilar.
It's like Anidjar. Anidjar. Jar Anidjar. So Anidjar, I believe is his name. So here's the guy from the organizer of the protest to kind of explain what happened yesterday.
Yep.
Good morning, guys. So I just wanted to come on here. First of all, I'm safe and sound. Got home to the fam. Everything's golden. Secondly, guys, from the bottom of my heart, for the people who showed up, for the people who participated in the Canada First Patriot rally yesterday in Toronto, God bless your heart, and thank you for supporting this movement. As I said yesterday, this is just the beginning. And I'm seeing some stuff online too as well. I mean, oh, Joe needs better organization. Joe needs this. Joe needs to do this. I love how people are always so ready to give criticism or give, like, point out your faults. But these are the same people majority of them, that don't even show up, that don't even participate in the things that they're supposed to. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened yesterday, okay? This is for all of you who want to come at me for not being there when people arrived late, okay? I was there at 11 o'clock a.m. setting up. People were there at 11 o'clock on our side, all right?
Yeah, but
they were there.
It's not hard
all
to
of
get
a
somewhere
sudden,
at 11 a.m.
We got crowded, okay? Keep this in mind, people. This is Toronto. This isn't fucking Bob Cajun. The spot that I picked is heavy on immigrants. It's heavy on liberal fucking woke losers. It's full of people that aren't on our side. So while I'm waiting, 12 o'clock comes around, people are starting to roll in, the counter protest is starting to circle us in. As I've been in contact and you know, shout out to the boys in blue and the women in blue who actually backed us up yesterday. But the guy came to me and he goes, look, Joe, I get it. You want to stick around, but these people are circling us in and they keep closing us in. At that time, okay, this is right before 1 o'clock. I had, I think, maybe 2 of the speakers show up on time, okay? And then I go, look, hey, I want to keep everyone safe out here. I want to be able to get everyone home, back to their families. Because what I saw out there was fucking lunatics. Lunatics, guys, okay? And I'm not out here to get anyone hurt. My goal was to keep everyone safe. So the cops let us out onto the street, onto the march. As you all could see, they were chasing us, following us up the whole fucking street on Bloor, guys, all the way to Dundas Square, pretty much. So people love to come at me, but they don't realize that I'm just one person. I don't have money to pay people to show up because it seems like that's what's needed out here. We need organizations to pay our people to come out because
sounds like he's kind of complaining about the same thing.
But the point of the matter is because there's a bunch of videos, but the point of the matter is what I'm getting is that they did not leave, they did not get kicked out. They were pretty much it was a suggestion from the police to say maybe you guys need to continue and start walking like you were supposed to. From my understanding, they were meeting at the Christie Pit and then they were going to walk, but they were getting surrounded by all sides by anti-protester or
we got
or against protester. Yeah, I know. I was just going to write him something.
Seems to be True North Transparency says turning that into a march was a terrible idea. He said turn into a march, separate everyone, and a group of us got stuck in with Antifa. So go ahead.
What was I going to say is True North Transparency seems like you create content as well. Like I'm on your YouTube page right now, so I'd be very curious to hear your take. So if you're interested, man, I'd love to have you on the show. I'd take you on the show right now if you want.
Jump on the show if you want.
Yeah, if you're interested. But hold on. Instead of writing it, if you're interested, bro, I'll send you my email address is like I'll send you like right there. I'll put it in the chat if you want. It's actually at the end of the info@nicolagan.com. If you're interested, man, love to have you on to speak about what happened yesterday. If you're interested, it's just I see that you're a content creator, so more than welcome to jump on the show right now. If you're interested, send me an email. I'm looking at my inbox right now. I'll send you the link for the studio. Love to have you on to speak about this because I wasn't there. I like to go to those events, but it's quite the drive from where I am. But I'd love to have the real information from somebody that was there.
Yeah. Reach out and if you want, if you got time, jump on the show, guys. We're talking about what's the name of the march or what was it called? The Take Back Canada.
It's Canada First Rally.
Canada First Rally. Yesterday that was a protest against immigration policy. I feel like if you say it's anti-immigration, it makes it sound like
mass immigration, I guess.
Yeah.
Mass immigration is probably the best way to say it.
Yep. Which is, of course, a reasonable, absolutely reasonable policy to hold. Many reasonable, sane, common sense people hold that policy, or at least concerns about it, all over the political spectrum. If you are just tuning in for the first time, because I'm still looking at quite a few new faces here in the comments, welcome, guys. Hopefully you stick around. Remember to throw some comments out there. We're actually going to take a few here in a minute after I'm done this little pitch. But if you appreciate the show, if you appreciate what Nico and I are trying to create here, which is a space where common sense, sane, reasonable people from all over the political spectrum can get together and to have these sorts of discussions, talk about the issues of the day, please support the show by liking and sharing the stream, first of all, when you're on YouTube. If you really want to support the show, you can become a member for the low price of $2.99 per month. That, of course, will it'll help us out. It'll allow us to keep bringing you guys this quality content day in, day out like we do. And then
True North sounds good, man. He's just saying that give him about 8 minutes. No problem, man. Just take your time. We're here until 10 p.m. Eastern time, so we're still here for an hour, almost an hour.
Probably got 8 to 10 minutes of comments here.
Easy. Plus, we're going to be talking about the UK, the UK nation protest too. So we're still going to be on the topic for a while. So, guys, by the way, if you like what we're doing, please like just right now. If you're here, like or dislike the stream, you're going to help us out. Just put this content in front of more people. So make sure to comment. Oh, I don't know why I disabled it. Pow. Normally the comment section is enabled here, so as the new comments come in, you guys will see it.
It was just until like 2 seconds ago.
I don't know. Maybe my fat fingers, my sausages just hit the wrong button.
All right. Choose the Heretic says, what's the latest fingers on the pulse and how's David holding up? And what about the ostriches? Slight segue, but how are those ostriches doing?
As for what I know, they got some type of injunction now. So there is. I wanted to talk about it last week actually.
They might have a chance.
Take some comments. I'm going to check it out right now because I'm pretty sure that they were able to get an injunction for a little while. So let me just check it out right now.
True North Transparency says, if you think the police have your best interests at heart, you're completely mistaken. Interesting with that video there. The guy was saying the boys in blue seemed to be pretty good. But I guess everyone's going to have different takes on that.
Well, it looks like True North Transparency. I don't know if you checked out his site, his YouTube, but it seems that he's the equivalent of there's an auditor in the US that goes to places and tries to access certain portion of municipal areas where he's allowed to go, and police always try to stop him. People stop him. I don't remember. There was a comment that said what it was about. It's like a lawyer in the US that, there you go. That's the one here. Logan White, from his video, TNT is the Canadian version of the First Amendment auditor, where the guy just goes around and tries to make sure that he's able to access certain area to make freedom of speech requests, as in, I want access to this document, and if you don't give it to him, he's just a lawyer. So he's very hard to deal with because he knows the law on the fingers, and the guy's ballsy as fuck. Love him or not, love him or hate him.
He's going to be here on the show. He's going to be here on the show in about 5 to 10 minutes, guys. So you're definitely going to stick around for that. It'll be a great conversation. Odious Patton says, great conversation on here. Thanks, gentlemen. Well, thank you, sir, for turning in. Appreciate the comment.
I like that one. Hold on. This one, smash like and share like bigots.
Share link.
I like this guy.
Bigots. Yeah.
Oh, like bigots. I like my version better. Like bigots. Share like bigots.
True North Transparency says, okay. He says, email will jump on in 10 minutes. Gotcha.
Yep.
Mike McKenzie says, liberal means to liberate you from freedom, liberate you from your job, liberate you from your home, liberate you from your country. Yeah, I mean,
that's what it's become.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
it's certainly. I can't really push back too strong against that. Certainly that's what's become. Mr. Doctor, the police did arrest some of the counter protesters fairly quickly. Yeah, fair play. I mean, it's got to be a tough job. policing those kind of things, especially when you've got a large counter protesters, you're going to have agitators in there who are trying to cause trouble. So yeah, it sounds like, honestly, if both sides are complaining, you kind of feel they probably did a pretty good job.
Just to go back to the ostrich question, it seems that they lost their appeal. So Court of Appeal rejects BC Ostrich Farms' latest bid to delay cull of bird due to avian flu. That was on September 12th. So that's pretty much the latest update that I can find. But yeah, it seems that they
back on the block.
Yeah, on the chopping block, literally. But they haven't said. The Federal Court of Appeal has denied an application for another stay order to delay a cull of 400 ostriches. Yeah, they're all pretty much saying the same thing. So it seems that they've been denied again, which is bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
Just leave the fucking ostriches alone, guys. It's not that difficult.
No,
I don't know why they've.
You don't want them? No problem. Send them to the U.S.
Yeah,
Dr. Oz said that he would take care of everything. Take them. He wants them. He'll put them on his own ranch in Florida. Give it to them. He'll take care of them.
They're clearly not infected because they're still alive, right? So why are you culling them? Why I don't. That's really, really, really just bad policy. Like why?
Yep.
It's got a lot of people upset. The Poli Orphans from TNT. Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Yep. Oliver Ruff says vote for freedom tomorrow, 9:15 or September 15th. What is that? What's being voted on tomorrow?
Is it because they're going? Is it because they're going back into because the House of Commons are getting back to work tomorrow?
They've been out so long.
They literally worked 25 days since December. What was it, December 17th or December 18th, 2024? That's how much they've been in the House of Commons, something like 25 days. Absolutely insane. But it finally reopens tomorrow. Yeah, that's I think that's what he was referring to.
Mike McKenzie, God gave us freedom and free will. Man gave us politics to divide us. I am for an honest system. I say the right let the left go too far. I mean, it's not like the right had an option, right? Like.
Yeah, we did.
Simple fact of the matter is the left was culturally dominant over the last 20 years or so. And now, as always happens, now it's shifting back. And it will probably be the right that's culturally dominant for the next 20, 25 years. And then it will go back. It's just, the great turning, well, not exactly how people mean it when they use that phrase, but it's another form of a turning.
No, but we did let him. But I agree with that. I blame the conservative or the Republican as much as I blame the liberals, because to me, I see the woke left as a bunch of children, and the adult in the rooms, like the adult in the room should have done something. We didn't. We just let it happen because we thought it would. You think that it's going to correct itself, or you're too busy working, you're too busy taking care of your family, and we just let it happen. And then those kids are now adults that are able to vote and that are in position of power. So you're like, oh shit, we fucked up. Then I agree. We dropped the ball. We should have done something from the get-go. We didn't. Now, at least in the US, it seems that there is a culture change that's happening, because just look at Charlie Kirk, perfect example of what's happening in the US. Like people, and even in Canada, people are fighting back. Like you look at Rachel Gilmore, for example, she got completely called out by so many people. Like her post that had 60,000 views went to at least 1.5 million by the time after Andrew Scheer posted it. And it's not because Andrew Scheer has more followers than her. I would argue she probably has a lot more than him. But his followers are politically savvy. If you follow a politician, chances are you follow politics, right? And people are clapping back. It's like the girl from Nahani Fontaine. Like I made a video calling for her to be fired, and I'm going to continue doing one every couple of days just to remind people that, call your MLA. You're not happy? Call your MLA. You want her fired? Call your MLA, call your MP. Say that there's no place for politicians like her. There's no place for funding for Cult Montreal either. They don't represent us. So Let's make them go viral. This is the power of social media. If you understand how social media works, you can make those people go viral. And the last number I heard, something like 600 people right now have lost their jobs in Canada for posts that they made celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Love the guy or hate him, celebrating a death, that's fun.
Yeah,
That's really fun.
It's not a good look. And the thing is,
But
is
it looks. But all I wanted to say is, it seems that it's finally changing, even in Canada. People, and this is not just conservatives that are not happy with this statement. I guarantee you that people like you, they're just liberals, but common sense liberal are like, hey, whoa,
Oh,
hey,
yeah,
I recognize that. Hey, that's Julie from my office, and they go see her boss, and they're like, is it really the type of employees you want? And you know, that's on you. Like, I believe free speech is a double-edged sword. I want you to be able to say whatever the fuck you want without getting censored by the government. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that there won't be any consequences. You know, if as an employer, I would never hire somebody that's woke like that. If one of my employees would do that, oh, you're canned. You're done. I cannot deal with. I can't deal with somebody like that. I don't want to be surrounded with people like that. That's my choice. That's my choice. You made your position clear. I don't like it. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And what happened is, as this shift away from left cultural dominance is happening, many rank and file liberals and leftists don't realize it yet. They haven't heard yet. And so they feel completely safe doing these kinds of things. Because even a couple of years ago, nothing would have happened.
6 months ago. 6 months ago.
Yeah, I agree with that. Conservatives have understood. They've been self-censoring for years now because they know that they can't say. So they're a bit more savvy in that regard. But now you're seeing all these liberals like, oh no, you know, it looks like the consequences of my actions are actually coming. Oh, there's True North there.
Just want to see. Yeah, send me an email. Hold on, I'm gonna post my email address in there again if you want to.
Or you could just post your email address, True North.
Either way, it's just I can't post the link in here. Like,
yes, of course, everyone shows up.
Yeah, exactly. It's a massive party. But if True North, it's in there, or copy if you want to copy your email address, same difference. But yeah, I'm looking at my inbox right now. So.
Wow, Logan White says Musk fired 2,000 employees for the celebration of Charlie's assassination. Yeah, it's just, you can't go around celebrating murder. It's especially if you are like, you know, I heard a post and I 100% agree with it. And it said, you know, I'm less concerned with just the regular people getting fired, although I can understand why they would. He's like, what I really like to go after is the journalists who are putting Charlie Kirk's quotes completely out of context and making it seem like he's a racist or a homophobe. Those are the ones doing real serious damage. But you know, most of the comments are like, why not go after both? And yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
You know, the market will adjust itself, like we say all the time. Yep. And this is the perfect case. We just see, just 6 months ago, this would have been acceptable. This would have been normal. But again, like I said so many times about Charlie Kirk, he's the perfect martyr. He is not, every single conservative out there loves or at least liked him. Like, nobody that I haven't heard one single bad word from the conservative side or even the centrists on Charlie Kirk. Love him, hate him. He believed in civil discourse and he never called people names. Like, at least I never saw any videos of him losing his shit on somebody, calling him this, calling him that. Yet how many times have he been called names? Probably every single time he showed up, right? Yeah. But at the same time, now you're seeing some people of the left are like, hey, whoa, they're just like you. They're seeing videos. They're like, oh, well, okay, hold on. This is the guy that they're painting as this far-right Nazi. Like,
celebrating his murder.
Take this. I have True North here. I'm just gonna respond to him.
Yep. Details, art and tattoo. Oh, it's your tattoo artist, Dan. What's going on, brother? Logan White says an electrician business from Oceanside, California is being boycotted because the owner's wife openly mocked Charlie's assassination like a moron.
I heard about that.
It's just not.
You go there, Google review. Policy, they just got.
And why should it be?
8,001 star. Supposedly overnight, their business went from being good to 8,001 star.
You know, he's like, this bitch. One of these days, pow, right in the kisser. But yeah, no, it's just, it's not that crazy of a thing, right? Just don't celebrate the murder of people, of decent people online. They're so sure that they could get away with it. And you know what's really messed up is a lot of them probably aren't even actually celebrating. They just think that that's what you do if you're a liberal. They just want to fit in, right? Imagine how being so messed up that you don't even care. You're not even actually celebrating someone's murder. You just think you have to fit in with the other liberals.
Ain't that the truth? This is a post that should be plastered on every young man's wall. Be careful who you decide to marry, people. Take this as a lesson. And, you know, I've said this to so many young men. The woman you choose to marry is probably the most important decision you'll ever make. Be very careful who you marry, because she has, especially with the family law that we have in Canada, yeah, it's not at your advantage. So choose extremely, extremely wisely.
I agree with this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Wow, we agree. I just sent him, by the way, the name of the True North, I believe, is Rick, is his first name. Okay. So he probably should be on his way. So that man, that's kind of cool. Just picking up somebody from the audience. What up?
The Spy Patriot says Canadians want economic nationalism. We want our government to focus on our people and manage the country properly, invest our cities and in our people. We're done taking on the world's problems. That's a completely reasonable position, right?
How dare you be so racist?
Yes, yeah, it's racist, bro. There are some idiots on the left who will call you that, though, for what is an absolutely reasonable position.
Common sense 101 right there.
Yeah. I mean, and why shouldn't we be worried primarily about Canada first? The rest of the world is worrying about their own country first, and so should they be, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's idiotic to say, okay, here in Canada, our priority is India. No, it shouldn't be. Let India's first priority be India. Our first priority is Canada, because if we don't make it our priority, there ain't no other country out there that is gonna.
Wow, goddamn, Rob's on fire.
Spitting.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Look like
Rick, we see you in the background. Can you hear us? Thumbs up. You ready to go? We can't hear you yet because you're still backstage, but okay. So here is that's the first time we pick somebody from the audience. But we have Rick from True North Transparency that was the Canada First rally over the weekend. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, Rick, how's you?
Good.
Just getting everything set here. Hey, so
yeah, so you were actually at the rally yesterday. Give us your thoughts about it.
Yeah, I was there. I got there at 9:00 in the morning.
You were there before Joe.
That's funny. Joe's like, I was there at 11. At 11, I'm like,
no, I got there. I got there at 8:30. I saw everybody set up. I saw this is something that the right always gets wrong. Anybody in these situations gets wrong. The cops aren't there to help you guys. The cops weren't there to help the rally. They were there to arrest people who blatantly violated the law. But first thing in the morning, I have a recording of the police meeting with the Antifa group.
Really?
And this cop tried to make me move along a public sidewalk and stop recording because they're having a private briefing with Antifa.
That's wild.
The reason that turned into a march, the cops said, hey, it's probably best you move along, is they were trying to end the march. They were trying to end the rally altogether. And I think they were trying to separate us because a shit ton of people got separated from the main crowd. The cops went right behind the main crowd and stopped a bunch of us in with about 200 or 300 Antifa guys, the ones that had been threatening me all day. And they stopped us with them. They did. I stood there for a bit and I was like, I was with a friend of mine. He's in the chat, like Section 2B. There was a couple of us. Prairie. Hey, Prairie, how you doing? I'm pretty well known in Canada. Logan Hey, there's a whole bunch.
Yeah, it
of
looks
them.
like there's a lot of overlap between because all those Prairie, Logan are all pretty been regulars here for a while.
Yeah, I know them all. And what they did is, so they blocked us. They stopped us with them, and I told them, like, we're with the group. The one guy that got attacked right at the beginning by the guy with the mohawk, he was wearing a Red Hot Chili Pepper shirt. He got stuck with Antifa too, and he broke through the police lines. He's like, "Fuck you guys! I'm not staying here," because he's already been attacked. The cops were not out there for us. They were not out there for us. They were out there for the other side. The cops hate anything to do with freedom in this country. Cops aren't good people. They're not your friends. And if you fight for freedom on the side of freedom, they hate you even more. And it's not that they hate you. They might secretly agree with you and be like, "Hey, yeah, you're cool. Trust me, guys.
They're directed.
They're fucking Nazis, dude. Excuse my language. They're Nazis. Every time I've had my rights violated by the cops, you know what they say to me? I'm just doing what I was told to do. And am I really loud? I hope I'm not really loud.
No, you're good, man.
No.
Okay.
No, Mike's good, man.
Yeah, I haven't done a live stream in a while. I used to do a podcast last winter, and we're going to be doing another one this year.
But I want to let me ask you something, because all I saw were videos. Like I know Joe, the organizer. I haven't been able to get him on the show though. Obviously, he's busy as hell. But from the videos that I've seen, there seemed to be more counter-protesters than actual protesters that were there for the Canada First rally. Is that correct, or is that illusion?
They brought in a bunch of different groups. So what they had is they had a quote unquote family friendly event. That was the first group that set up, and that was part of Antifa, and they met with the police. And immediately I was trying to record their briefing with each other, and I was assaulted by an old lady and some asshole wearing one of those keffiyehs, the terrorist scarves, I call them. And they tried to assault me because they didn't want me watching them do their briefing before they were set up right at the corner. Those guys were set up at the corner. And then I got another interaction of all the absolute crazies of the bunch, the transgender bunch that were all carrying the communist newspapers around, the Communist Party. They were there. And then they were supposed to have an Antifa baseball tournament. And there were stickers everywhere in the bathrooms, because I went there at 8:30 to check out the site. There were Antifa stickers everywhere saying baseball tournament today. It was, for yesterday, bring your own bat. And I think the police may have put an end to that one, but the cops, they weren't there looking out for us. I had the cops like right from the start giving me a hard time. I don't know if you guys have heard of Langford or Bubbles. Sergeant Bubbles, he's Sergeant Joseph's. No, he arrested a girl because a bubble, she was blowing like bubbles, and a bubble landed on him, and he arrested her for assault.
No way.
Yeah. I'm not joking. I was there with another guy, as Mad Lab Press, if you guys have ever heard of him. Look his channel up if you want. He's a very close friend of mine. I'm actually going to visit him again tomorrow. I was with him that day. And he was a cop for 25 years before he started joining up with me doing my audits. And I don't know if you guys know what I do. I exercise the right to film in public, and I test the police in their knowledge of our rights, and they don't know them. They don't care about, they do know them. They just don't give a shit. They'll arrest you and then say, "Hey, here's questions." What they do is they shoot first, ask questions later. I wear a bulletproof vest when I'm out because I always film the police. And like I got jumped a bunch of times, not jumped, attacked a bunch of times yesterday. But like I don't really come across as the guy Antifa wants to start screwing with. Like I'm 6 feet, 210 pounds, and I'm wearing a bulletproof vest, and I'm with 3 guys, right? Or I was alone for a long part of it. And they're cowards. They want to attack the single guy, little guys. They always attack smaller guys, and they attack in greater numbers. But
so what were you there yesterday, if you don't mind me asking? What was the main objective? Were you there to watch the police see what they do, or were you actually there to be part of the rally itself?
I'm a part of the Canada First movement. I think mass migration's got to go. I think we should get rid of like this year, we've had 547,000 Muslim immigrants come into this country, and Muslims don't like our country, dude. They hate it. They hate our country. They despise us as a people. And I've actually got video of many imams and regular Muslim people saying, we're not here just to look for a better life. We're here to take this place over. It's the same as in Britain. It's the same all across the world. It's the way the Muslims have done business since the dawn of Muslim. They go in and they breed out a culture.
Well, we've seen enough videos of sort of Muslims saying exactly that, saying, you know, we're basically here to take over. The ballot or the bullet is a common phrase. So I would ask you, Rick, then what is your take? Because as I understand, this rally yesterday was basically a protest against mass immigration policy. Now, I'm sure that obviously that can get misconstrued to be racist. And I'm sure there are probably
racist every day.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are probably some people who might actually be. But that said, it's entirely appropriate, in my opinion, to be able to criticize immigration policy. We talk about this a lot on the show. What do we take? About 1 million people in a year over the last 2 or 3 years. It don't matter what color your skin is. That's just an insane amount of bodies.
Canada has replaced. In the last 10 years, we brought in 37% new people. 37% in 10 years since Trudeau started his reign of terror.
As I see it, immigration policy. You know, we talk about a lot how immigration policy is actually setting healthcare policy. It's actually setting infrastructure policy. It's actually setting education policy, just by the massive number of bodies that are coming into the country. We've had Maxime Bernier on the show, and he is his take is he wants to stop immigration in like flat out. Would you say that's your take too, or would
100%,
you say just
100%,
more of a
at least for 10 years or more? Like no more. Let's take care of our country. Let's get our rent back down, because what happened is this started a long time ago. When I was in high school, this started with bringing in thousands and thousands of Somalian immigrants. And they took over sections of Ottawa, where I used to live. And they used to tell us, you're stupid. You live in this country, you have to work. We come here, we live for free. And it turned into a big thing. But then it started going faster and faster and faster and faster. Syrian refugees coming into the country, getting $7,000 checks, free Canada Goose jackets, a free cell phone, a free apartment, taking over hotels in this country. So our taxes are going through the roof. And then when they finally start getting them out of the hotels and they're giving them rent vouchers, you know what the landlords do? They're like, well, how much is that? How much can I get out of this voucher?
It's going to be more than.
And then they're like, oh shit, we can double our rent and the government will pay for it.
If we kick
Guess what happens? Guys like me, I live in a 2-bedroom shitbox and I spend $2,000 a month rent, which would be normally a $800-900 apartment 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
Like 6 years ago, I rented a house in the Kawartha Lakes region, a 3-bedroom farmhouse on 150 acres. I had a barn, I had horses, I had cows, not cows. But I lived on a farm and I spent $800 a month rent. I moved up there 3 years ago, looked for a similar house, and it was $3,000 a month rent.
Yeah, well, we had a doctor on the show. You go ahead, Nico.
Well, all I was going to say is that I wanted to show, because that's one of the topics I wanted to talk about today, what happened in the UK, and I'll kind of formulate a question based on that afterwards. But, you know, Tommy Robinson organized on the same day as you guys were having it yesterday, the Unite the Nation protest in the UK. And like, I don't know if you've seen the videos, but it's absolutely insane, right?
That's crazy.
But this is insane. Like they're
That's millions of people.
Mainstream media is estimating it at something like 120,000 people. Other estimates are 1 to 3 million. But like this video just goes on and on and on. And look at the amount of people. Like this is insane amount of people.
And the BBC was saying it's just a small group, and they do it a lot. Yeah.
Well, when they had we had a protest in Montreal during the COVID lockdown that I was at, there must have been at least 100,000 people for sure. I was there, right? At least 100,000. And the media was showing little spot off the rally where it looks like there were 20 people hanging out, and I'm seeing it live on my phone, and I'm looking around. I'm like, are you kidding me? You have city blocks covered. Montreal was closed down. So the question I have for you is, the UK is down the road at least 5 to 10 years further down that rabbit hole of mass immigration than we are.
3.
Do you think that 3 years? Do you think that Canadians had enough? Or is it going to need to get worse? Because clearly, for a protest to be that size, the UK's done. Like, they're fucking done with this.
Yeah.
I saw the numbers yesterday, and I was kind of surprised. Like, I'm looking at the amount of people. I thought it would be a lot bigger. So the question I have for you is, do you think Canadians had enough? Or does it need to get worse before we really start protesting this properly?
I say it often on my channel is this Canadians being nice is a real thing, but it's not nice. Mm-hmm. It's self-centered, not very bright. You know, Canadians are more than willing to just look the other way as long as their lives aren't affected. People are noticing. I've noticed it on my channel. People are noticing. They're noticing that you can't afford anything anymore. Gas is going through the roof. Mark Carney, that sack of, PM, was appointed prime minister. Basically, they did the same thing as the States did to try and screw their election up. And he said, tighten your belts. The road is going to get much harder from this point forward. I recently did a video. Now, it's not just about money. Sharia law is something that you got to start listening to. The Muslim
values are Canadian values, remember?
And I did a video recently where I went to a mosque. I go out and film. I film at churches. I film at police stations. I do Bloor West Village, where that march was held. I'll stand in front of businesses and just film. And what I hear all the time is people come out and they're like, I'm uncomfortable with you filming. You need to go. I went, no. I'm not here for your comfort. My rights don't give a shit about your feelings. And then they call the cops, and then the cops come, and either they try to get me to leave, but the Toronto cops know who I am, so they don't really bother me anymore. But I went to this. Oh, I'm not joking. Like, the police know me very, very well. And
oh no, I believe you. Is because it has an impact, right? When they know you know the law, they tend to be a bit more worried because they can't just bully you into telling you what you're supposed to do when it's not legally right.
Were you guys at the rally yesterday in Dundas Square? Yeah, anybody?
I wasn't.
That's why we wanted you on the show.
There was a pastor there. His name is Pastor Jeff Sapachinik, and I follow him around a lot because the police, they'll allow Muslim prayer time in the middle of the streets downtown, but then you have a Baptist minister preaching on a loudspeaker, and they arrest him all the time. So I look out for him to make sure he doesn't get arrested. But back to what I was saying is that Sharia law is something that they're really pushing for. Muslims aren't here for a better life. Islam, whatever you want to call it, the ones that are being migrated here, some of them are here for a better life, and they'll assimilate to Canadian culture, Canadian ways, and Canadian laws. But huge and growing number of them want Sharia law. They want to turn this into the country that they left. And they don't need to fight us to do it. All they need to do is have 8 children each, which that's all they do is pump out baby after baby. And Canadians, they're too worried. Canadians can't even decide if a man is a woman and should be in a woman's washroom. Canadians have just lost their bloody minds. And I say it all the time. Canadians aren't nice. They're just dumb. And it's going to come back and bite us on the ass. And I went to a mosque not long ago to record, and I was almost immediately confronted by a bunch of Muslims at the mosque. And I'm nice. I tell them I'm just here working on a story. I'm just recording. Guess who comes out? In Durham region, 2 York regional cops come out, and they're recruiting at Muslim prayer centers, Muslim Islamic centers. Crazy. And he's like, I have a huge video on it. It's on my channel. The guy, this condescending cop comes out. He's like, you have to admit that Canada is the greatest country ever. I'm like, yeah, it used to be, and he's like, and we need police that represent our citizenship. I'm like, no, we really don't. And they're there on duty with guns on, giving me a hard time for recording because the Muslim people don't like it, but that's my right to record. under the freedom of the press. So they're telling me to move along on demanding answers of why I'm there. But meanwhile, they're in a mosque recruiting cops. Like, no. Like, remember not long ago, the Chinese police forces in Toronto? I've been trying to find those. They do exist, but I've been trying to find them so I can record them. But it's really,
that sounds a bit dangerous.
That's why.
But the question I wanted you to,
Yeah.
but the question goes back to what I was asking you, if you don't mind answering. Do you think it's going to need to get worse? Because I've been trying to change people's mind for years. I'm trying to go at it from a common sense perspective, but it seems that the average Canadian, just like you said, couldn't be bothered. Then I see what Tommy Robinson did over the weekend, and that didn't take months of prep. He literally copied what you guys did in Toronto, used the same date, and did it in the UK. And at least it's hard to tell how many people are there, but that was not 100,000 people. I've been to concert with 100,000 people. That's not what that looks like.
That's a million. They're definitely more fed up, and they're further along. Right?
Yeah,
they're further along than we are. But as you're saying, Rick,
he was arrested and jailed for a long period of time, talking about the Muslim rape gangs and stuff.
Yep.
And Tommy
100%.
Robinson is a huge public figure, and I think it's going to have to. That's what I was getting at when I said Canadians aren't nice; they're dumb. It's going to have to get worse in Canada for that. Because we have one major aspect that people are missing about Canada is we have a larger population, and the amount of space we have is unbelievable. Like, you can spread that shit out quite a bit. But Canadian, like, anywhere there's a Tim Hortons, they're abusing the, what do they call that?
The temporary foreign worker program.
You got it.
Or the IMP, what is it? The IMP is the real problem, is the one that doesn't require an LMIA. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's what they're doing. So if you go into little towns, like I'm from the Yukon, you go in anywhere in the Yukon, they claim that Canadians don't want these jobs. So they're like, the Yukon is like 99% Indian people working at Canadian Tire, Walmart, Tim Hortons. Dude, no Indian person on the planet likes minus 65 degrees Celsius weather, but there's,
well, yeah, I don't think anybody does. But yeah, like, I've talked on the show, like, I've got a 16-year-old son, and he's, it's time for him to get a job. And I spent months taking him to all the fast food places, just not interested. They're not interested in hiring me. He eventually got a job up at the mall, Sport Check. But, these are the kind of jobs that, when we were teenagers, you were getting that 15, 16, 17 years old. And they're important, right? Not only do they give you a bit of spending money, but these are often the first times that you are able to, it's almost the first time you're an adult, right? You're out there in the real world. You're making real money. And, I use the example, how many billionaires or millionaires have we heard who said, got my first job at McDonald's, got my first job at Wendy's or Tim Hortons, and that is what put me on this path, right? It is important. It is a rite of passage for our young people to be able to get these jobs, and to say, I don't want to bring in foreigners to work fast food jobs. That has nothing to do with the color of their skin. It is that it is important for our young people and our old people. There's lots of people who are retired who don't want to be put away to pasture just yet, right? They can't work. Maybe they don't want to work full time, but they do want to get out of the house and have a couple dollars to spend. They're not getting these jobs either. We have a youth unemployment rate of, what is it?
14.1%. 14.1% right now. Yeah.
When you have I don't care what your LMIA says. If you have a youth employment rate of 14%, there is no reason why you should be bringing in anybody who is not Canadian to work at those jobs. And again, it has nothing to do with the color of skin. I would oppose it just as much if they were all white Americans or white British people. Yeah,
it's like I have Indian friends. I have marched. I've done some protests and stuff with the Muslim community. I've shied away from them since the Free Palestine crap started going on, because I don't side with that one bit. And then we started seeing things differently, and we don't interact anymore. But I'm not I'm not a racist person. I don't care what color you are. I hate everybody equally.
I say that all the time.
Like I'm a nice guy. I am, but I put up with a lot of bullshit doing what I do. Like I get attacked multiple times a week, and I get the cops called and showed up on me at least a dozen times a week doing what I do.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is the left has created this, especially for this thing where they just shut you down by calling you racist, and it creates a situation where we can't even talk about immigration policy, and we have to be able to talk about it, right? We have to be able to talk about all of our government's policies, or how else can we ever hope to arrive at the proper one?
Are you racist? You Nazi?
Yeah, exactly, and it's entirely bad.
Clearly,
faith, right? It's entirely bad faith, and frankly, there actually are real racists and real Nazis out there, and we need to be able to call them out when we see them. And we can't do that if every time someone raises a valid concern, they're called a racist or a Nazi. Every time someone doesn't agree with you, they're called a racist or a Nazi. We really have to get away with that. And when I say we, I mean the left. People who are liberals, who identify, like, I don't know if you can see my name there, but I am a liberal. I do identify as one. I'm just a common sense one, right? I don't follow the dogma and the narratives.
The political
I wanted to show you guys
switched.
this. I wanted to show you guys this because this is a warning. This is happening in the UK. I don't know if you guys saw this video. I just want to, because I'm looking for ways to warn people about what's coming our way if we're not careful. And it's been reported multiple times that in Europe, schools are mandating students to visit mosques to learn about Islam. And how is that not indoctrination, right? Like I've saw a bunch of those videos where have you seen the birth rate in the UK? The vast majority of the schools, they're all Muslims. There's almost no white people anymore. So all I'm trying to show people is this, like, is that what you want for Canada? And still people don't want to wake up. I don't know what it's going to take for the average Canadian to wake to the fact that they're not here to integrate. They're here to take over. It's a fact. And I want to find a Muslim. You know what? Just so you know, I reached out to somebody that is a very big voice in the Muslim community. I'm not going to name names yet until he accepts to come on the show, but I approached him. I know people that know him. We have friends in common. And I want him to show up on the show to explain to me what's going on and why they're not, if they are moderate Muslims, why are they not holding the extremists accountable to their actions? I'm a Christian, and if Christians were starting to do what Muslims are doing in Canada, I'd be the first one to say, bro, no, absolutely not. This is not how Canada is. We have a place. We can go to church. We're not supposed to block streets. But yet, it seems that moderate Muslims won't call out the extremists. So I want to have somebody to show up, to have the balls to show up on the show and answer real questions, hard question. I'm hoping he's going to accept, but we'll see.
What I would respond to that is, if you call out a bunch of Christians, they're not going to come and show up at your house and murder you.
And that's the point. And that's the point. Like, I mean, there are moderate Muslims. We've all met them, right? Anyone who spent any time. The problem is, A, they are really not the majority, and B, they are cowed into silence. The fact of the matter is what you would call extremists are the ones who not only kind of call the shots, but they will use threats and intimidation to kind of silence the moderate ones. So the moderate ones just stay silent. Like when you see those crowds, and we've seen those videos, we've talked about it here on the show, of hundreds of Muslims shutting down Bloor Street or major intersections in Canada, in the UK, in America, to pray. That's not about prayer. They are not praying. If it was about prayer, they can do that in their mosque. They can do that privately, the way that you're supposed to do it, the way that, say, Christians will do it. We are a secular country. We cannot allow any religion, I don't care if it's Christians, I don't care if it's Muslims, I don't care who it is, to shut down our public infrastructure to pray. And that's not about prayer. That is a show of force. That is a show of dominance. 100%. And they are absolutely saying, we're here. It's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. And so far, we've proven them right.
And the other good, the other point with that, sorry, I completely lost that, about them praying. Oh yeah, if you're a journalist taking pictures of them, they can turn to the police and say, we don't like pictures being taken of us, and they'll go and arrest the journalist.
Then don't fucking pray in the middle of the street, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not hard.
Well, David Menzies has been arrested multiple times filming them from Rebel News.
Menzies? Oh, okay, yeah, I know.
Rebel News in Montreal. There's a girl that works for Rebel News. I forget her name. She's a
not Montreal girl. Natasha Montreal.
Yeah, she works with Rebel News. She's been threatened with arrest multiple times by Montreal police. All across the country, if you film the Muslims while they're praying on the streets, blocking the streets, you can be arrested.
Garbage, man. Like, again, we live in a secular country. I do not give a shit what your religion dictates. I just don't give a shit. Go pray in the privacy of your mosque, and I promise you, nobody's gonna bug you. But when you're, if you should not be on the streets at all, blocking streets to pray. But if you're gonna be, you goddamn right, you're gonna be filmed. And it's just, everything is a show of force. And frankly, for people to say, "Oh, the moderates are the majority," no, that's just not correct. That is not correct.
And then you get the alphabet mafia tack that on to the Islam people. Oh, there's the alphabet mafia absolutely hate my guts. I speak out against pride flags being flown. Right.
I did hear, it's funny when you see all the Charlie Kirk stuff, you would hear people say, like, oh, it's appropriate that I'm glad Charlie got shot because he's homophobic and transphobic. I'm like, are you going to apply that logic to the Palestinians? Because I promise you, they're far more homophobic and transphobic than Charlie Kirk ever was.
Yeah. Queers for Palestine, isn't that's just the biggest joke?
Chicken for KFC.
Chickens for KFC. Yeah.
Lake Time says, Rob, are you sure you're a lib? Yeah, I get that a lot here. I am a liberal, and there's a lot of my positions that I don't really talk about on the show that are pretty firmly left to center.
Lake Time, just look at him. He looks a bit gay, so he is a liberal. No doubt about that.
Yeah. His wrists are pretty solid,
But yeah, no, I'm a common sense liberal, an anti-woke liberal, if you want to call it that. There are some of us out there.
You guys should check into. Somebody should share her link too. Is Counselor Lisa Robinson?
Oh, is that why does that name sound familiar?
Because she's a counselor in the city of Pickering.
Okay.
She hasn't been paid in a year and a half now.
Okay.
Because she speaks truth about SOGI, which is sexual orientation and gender identity being taught at schools. She speaks out about that, so they call her a homophobe and take her money away. If you look at my channel, the video I have today, if you click start on that video, her picture's right there.
Oh, I know
she is. First thing on my video.
Lisa Robinson's a rock star counselor. Yeah.
Somebody share her channel name. It's Lisa Robinson on YouTube. Here.
It's at Life Liberty Lisa, at least on X.
Yeah, she's on everything, and she's a very close friend of mine. I love this lady. She's fearless, but she gets a really bad rap, and she does a lot of these shows. She went on a show a while back. It's just Lisa Robinson 7503. I'll share the link on your YouTube here. But she went on a show, and the guy that she did a show with on Rumble was a little pretty harsh. He was a pretty wild dude. But he said a bunch of weird shit while she was off the air. And then they took it as though it was her opinion, and they refused to pay her. She's been Yeah, they haven't paid her in a year and a half.
Prairie says she did a great speech at the rally yesterday.
Yeah, I missed that actually. I was there. I didn't even get to see her. So
can I call you by your first name here? You share your first name, right? Okay, Rick. It's just you had it on the email. I try not to share names of people they don't want out there, but I just wanted to thank you for being on. We have a bunch of other news to get to, but man, hopefully we can have you back and actually speak about what you do, because I follow your American equivalency So I don't remember what his name is, but he does very similar things to what you do, like the First Amendment auditor,
there's
I think is his
hundreds
name.
of them.
Yeah.
So there's a
I'll
lot
say
of them that do just government offices and stuff. I try to educate the general public because I think people outnumber the government
100%
easily, like 20-1. And what I find is that most people in Canada are dumb as a bag of rocks and don't know the first thing about their rights, and they think you need a consent form to film in public. And to me, it's hilarious to see it. That's why I make the content. It's really funny. It gets a lot of views, especially when everywhere I go, people call the cops on me for holding a camera. I'm like, you're literally filming out of your store into the street. But when I do it back to your store or a bank, they lose their minds, right? And it's a good exercise. It's a good social experiment to see how many people know their rights, and nobody knows their rights anymore. And I think in Canada, people would happily give up their rights to be a little more comfortable. And it's been happening since COVID. They've been doing it. Hey, stay indoors and give up your job and you'll be safe from the boogeyman, and people are starting to believe that crap. And
those who will exchange liberty, those who will exchange their freedom for security deserve neither.
That's it. What was that? Who said that?
It ain't me. That's for damn sure. It's an
really
American
old.
president.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's an American president. Yeah. If one thing's for sure, it ain't mine. I'm just repeating, but it's a great quote. But all I was going to say is, thanks for being here. Well, I'll keep in touch with you because I'd like to have you on just to talk about what you do. Especially, we could talk about what's going on in Nanaimo, BC, where they're trying to they pass bylaws that are actually preventing people from recording the city council. They can't record on.
I've been arrested multiple times for that.
But that'd be interesting to have you on to actually go into details on that. So it was great for you to comment, great for you to jump in, and hopefully we can have you back on.
Here, you know what? That's I just put my phone number in the chat. I'll text you my real, I post my number on every one of my videos, right on the top right corner.
Send it to me by email if you want, man, I'll reach out to you.
A little more of a private number, but
yep,
it's perfectly fine.
Sounds good to me, man. Thanks for jumping on. It was great talking to you, man.
Appreciate the time.
Yep, have a good one.
Take care.
Bye, Rick. Bye.
Okay.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
Kind of
cool.
We always have guests, but it's the first time we pick one from the audience. So
the show rolls a bit of a guerrilla underground style.
Guerrilla. That is very guerrilla, like guerrilla.
Guerrilla journalism for sure.
Is guerrilla.
Yeah, Lake Time says, Nico, awesome. I follow so many Americans and so happy to see True North transparency. Rick, do it here finally. You are awesome in Ottawa. I think he was talking to Rick at the end there, or was that you?
Yep.
Nico,
no, he was saying that he's on here today because he saw me on Jason D's podcast.
Oh, nice.
Or maybe it was Jason Levine. No, I don't know. I think it was just Jason. But before we jump to the next story, though, I wanted to address something because, I kind of talked about the story at the beginning that the podcast yesterday was very interesting.
Yep.
And George Heminger is saying it's a shame to see you steered by an actual Zionist like Goldie. And hold on, get Michael Yon. Hold on, get Michael Yon back on. Brother, if you actually listen to the podcast, I'm not steered by anybody. All I was asking is for respect.
Yeah.
To come in the hot and start calling people Zionists.
This whole
I wouldn't have been impressed if. But hold on, man. I wouldn't have been impressed if he called me a Zionist. Although I'm used to being called names every single day. People send death threat my way. I laugh at it because I know those fuckers can't do shit in real life, so it amuses me. But all to say that the whole point is to have a civil conversation with people that disagree. I have no problems with Michael Yon whatsoever. We're going to have him back on the show at least we're working on having back on the show on a Saturday so that he can explain his side of the story, or at least what he was going to say. The only reason I intervened yesterday is because I don't like the name calling. You can believe in whatever you want, man, and I will let you talk because I'm curious to see what people think. But I ask people to be respectful and not call other people names. That's it. It's really that simple. I'm not there to defend anybody except civil discourse. That's all I'm asking.
That's the whole point of the show, is we're trying to get people from all over the spectrum with different opinions to get together. And just allowing different opinions does not mean anyone is being steered where am I? Tavia says almost as bad as throwing the phrase Nazis around. Yeah, I mean, we can't go around calling people Nazis or fascists just because you don't agree with them, or Zionists even. Now, I don't know if Goldie identifies as a Zionist. I would suspect she probably doesn't. But yeah,
she definitely supports Israel. Like after hearing her talk, she definitely supports them.
Zionist. Yep, I agree. But there's Rick. Nice you guys that have me on the show. Yeah, anytime, brother. This show is all about open dialogue. We're always going to have people on, and it would be hypocritical of us to start shutting down people because of their position. I'm not even talking about Rick here, but I was just talking about George's comment to say, being steered by a Zionist. Well, no. We're trying to have people from all over. Like at the end of the day, we can engage with someone's argument without calling them names. If you want to do that, that's like 99% of the whole internet, right? That the whole point of this show is to create something a little bit different, to have people on here to be able to disagree respectfully. I am a liberal, Nico's a conservative. One thing we found when we kind of just got together and had common sense discussions, we actually have common ground on a lot of issues. And when the ones we don't, we'll respectfully disagree, but that's what this show's all about. I think what makes it a great show.
And you know what? If Goldie would have started calling Michael names, I would have done the same. It had nothing to do with defending Goldie. It had just about defending the format of the shows that I organize. I don't like people screaming at each other. I get that shit every single day of my life on social media. That's not what I promote. I don't condone that. I condone civil discourse. So that's all it was. I just wanted to take the time to address that because that was definitely a misconception. I was not there to defend anybody except the integrity of the show that I run. That's it. That plain and simple.
Yep, 100%. Lake Time says, Rob, you remind me of a lib from the 90s, not the libs of today. Yeah, I'm a classical liberal, right? Like, I agree that the current modern political left has gotten away from that classic liberalism. One of the main ways you can see it is free speech is a core value of classical liberalism. I still firmly believe in free speech. Nico does as well. That's a core value of this show. But the modern political left, unfortunately, seems to have gotten away from free speech. Doesn't mean like I still identify as liberal, but I can criticize the authoritarian leaning of the current political left while still, being a liberal. Again, classical liberalism. I agree. Probably, 90s lib probably is a pretty fair description. But my whole take, and I get on the show all the time. Well, why aren't you a conservative? Why aren't you on the right? Nico's always trying to convert me. He's like, we have cookies.
I can't convert you. You're not coming out of the closet just yet. One day you will. One day.
If all the common sense liberals went to the right, then we would be ceding the entire left to the crazies. Why? I'm going to stay here and I'm going to keep making my point to my argument. And I do believe that the craziness will eventually pass because I don't think most liberals are crazy. I think the crazies have taken the majority of the power over the last couple of years. But that, as we talked earlier, the cultural pendulum is shifting. And as they lose power, there's going to be a whole lot of common sense liberals who have kept their mouth shut over the last couple of years, are going to say, I never really believed that. I never really thought that men can have give birth or women can have penises. And I do actually maybe have an issue with immigration policy that doesn't really make me racist. But,
I just want to take a couple more before we go to Pierre Poliev, but Wilf Alcock, you had to step in, Nico. It was getting hot. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I was just there to kind of cool down, and it looks like I completely failed. So again, I'm taking that one on the chin. It's my fault. I fucked up. I should have handled differently. I don't know how differently, unless I just let it happen, but that's not the type of show I want. So we'll adapt. we'll adapt. It was okay. I just want to address some of the messages from Auditing Canada, because ever since Rick showed up to the feed, he appeared not too long after, because I don't know you. I've never seen you comment before, but I'm shocked to invited a known sexist, homophobic, transphobic into your show. Rick has a pattern in his video. So I don't know, Rick. First time I was speaking. No, but hold on. I never heard about this guy, but there's nothing he said today. If you believe that, if I judge him by what I seen today, and if you think that what I saw today is sexist, homophobic, transphobic, that means I am too. That means you're gonna think the same thing of me, because it looks at least on the surface.
Yeah.
But on the surface, I share a lot of his values, at least what he said on the show today. But I'd be curious, instead of calling people names, how about you show your work and you tell me that? Don't tell me do your own research. That's watch his videos, bro. I'm not gonna go watch all of his videos to prove your point.
It
somebody that no, but hold on, Rob. No, but somebody that makes a point has to prove his point. It's not if I question you, I'm not there. I shouldn't have to do the work for you. You tell me why that guy is supposedly a sexist, homophobic, and transphobic, because he talks against it. He talks about immigration. He talks against LGBTQ. That means that he's all those things. Because if that's your margin, that's me right here too. I question immigration every single day. I talk against the alphabet letter basically every single day. Does that mean I'm sexist, transphobic, homophobic? That I'm Islamophobic too? If that's your limiting, this is how you judge people, brother, check the mirror, because you're the problem, man. Questioning something doesn't mean you hate it. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate them at all.
At the same time, it doesn't matter what his videos are. All that matters is what he says on this show. We'll have anyone on the show. We're gonna expect you to show your work and back up your argument. But what you said in your own videos, I don't give a shit. All that matters is what you say when you're here. And I didn't really hear anything that I thought was problematic. He clearly does not agree with immigration policy. That's not racist. I also have concerns about immigration policy. I think we're bringing in too many bodies. I don't really give a shit what color their skin is. If we were bringing 1 million white people every year, I'd have equally the same problem with that as well.
But Tavia is saying, I think being against LGBTQ is the definition of transphobic, quite liberally. Listen, I'm against a group of individuals that claim to be victim, that claim to be the underdog, that have months now every year dedicated to them. They get to do whatever they want, whenever they want during that time. We change our flags for them. Big corporations change their flag to them. They're not in danger. Nobody gives a fuck about what you do behind closed doors, who your sexual partners are. I don't care. I could not give two shits about what you choose to do behind closed doors. But when you start indoctrinating kids, that I have a problem with. I have a problem with people telling kids that they were born in the wrong body. That's a problem. We don't need this shit. There's no kid out there that believes they were born in the wrong body until somebody puts that in their heads. I'm tired of having our education system turned into indoctrination centers. That's the problem. This is nothing against the LGBTQ people, because I do believe that the T in there, they have psychological problem. That's called body dysmorphia and gender dysphoria. Those are actually recognized issues that we need to stop enabling, and we need to treat. We need to help those people. There's problems going on, but yet we keep on promoting their belief when we should be giving them the help they need. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I don't hate them. I just want them to get the help that they deserve and to stay away from my fucking children. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, and I mean, I think being against LGBTQ is transphobic. I mean, you kind of got to explain specifically what you mean, because I know a lot of people, my whole worldview is live your life how you want. I don't give a shit as long as you're not, bothering anyone else, hurting anyone else. Live your life as you see fit. Now, there are other people who will say that you're transphobic if you don't think that men who identify as women should be kept separate from women's spaces. Like my whole argument against that stuff is, as a liberal, I believe in women's rights. And so when women are saying that they want spaces separate from men, even men who identify as women, I'm going to listen to them. right? Yeah, I don't think that men who identify as women should be placed in women's prisons, and there is a ton of them being placed in women's prisons. Now, it's not getting on the news, but it is actually happening. You know, to simply recognize that biology is real and that there are only two sexes, that's not transphobic. I don't think that trans people should be discriminated against in policy and law. I think they should have the same rights as everyone else, but I don't think they should have special privileges. And again, that's not transphobic.
This is always the thing that I find interesting, is that they can go for a full month, walk all over the place all they want, half naked, even naked, it's okay. If I had the audacity to organize a bunch of white people, heterosexual white people, Christians, and do the same thing, we'd be arrested. We would be called all the names in the world. We'd be called racist, because what can I not say that without heterosexual people, trans people wouldn't exist? Because that's a fucking fact. That's a fact. So why can I not celebrate? Why is it okay to celebrate your sexual preference when a bunch of heterosexual people, it wouldn't be okay? That's the problem that I have with this whole thing. They're not victims. Maybe in the 70s, people had to change their mind about gays. I don't believe, you know what? I don't agree with the way they live their life. As a Christian, I don't. That doesn't mean I want to stop every right that they have. I don't care. I really don't care. At the end of the day, just leave the kids out of it. Gender studies being, you don't need to talk about gender to my son that's 5 years old in school. You don't need that shit. Nobody needs that shit. If you're 18 and you know what you want, no problem. But until then, leave them alone. It's indoctrination. Plain and simple.
And one of the things, sort of as a liberal, that really opened my eyes was hearing all the gay people, the LGBT community, who were speaking out against sort of the
how do you call it? The normal gays?
Yeah, the quote unquote normal gays, who were saying, no, listen, like if when I was a teenager, I was a feminine gay boy. If I was a teenager today, they would convince me I was a female and want to cut my dick off. And I felt that was a persuasive argument, right? A lot of people, if you're 25, if you're an adult and you want to do whatever you want with your body, no problem at all. No one has any issues whatsoever with that. But I think telling kids that there's something wrong with their body, treating, a lot of these kids have depression. They have, they have, and massive number. I think it's like 80% of trans-identified teenagers are women, right? And a huge number of them are victims of childhood sexual abuse, and yet that's not being looked at whatsoever. And no one has clued in, like, maybe these young girls are actually just, it's not even that they want to be men. They just don't want to be women because they view their sex as being the thing that invited the sexual abuse on them. That's not being talked about whatsoever. The only thing that's being taught now by psychologists, by therapists, is the affirmation model. And I just think that's wrong. I think there's something, we should not be telling our kids that there's something wrong with their bodies. And that the way to fix that is surgeries and hormones. The detransition, the number of detransitioners who are coming out and saying, I wish I never had this done to me. My life is ruined at 21, 22. And I see them all the time. I've talked to many of them. I'm not even saying that there aren't people out there who might psychologically benefit. You've spoke with Buck Angel, Nico. Clearly, Buck
as a Christian, I spoke to Buck Angel, a guy that made a living doing porn, a woman that passes as a dude, and he's the only woman I call a dude because he fucks with my head. It's very hard for me to call him a woman because I don't see him as a woman whatsoever, but he is the first one to say that he has a psychological problem, that it makes him feel better to see him as a man, but he knows it's an issue.
And I have no problem with that.
But he knows he's a woman. He will not, he's a woman, and yet he says that most of his followers are Christian. It blew my mind. That interview that I did with him, I actually had quite fun because he kind of blew my mind, because I approached him from the perspective, I'm like, hey, I'm a Christian conservative. I read about you in Irreversible Damage by Abigail Schreier. So Tavia, instead of telling me, go research the WPATH, go try to understand the trend, I probably understand it more than you do. And I would suggest to you that you read Irreversible Damage by Abigail Schreier. This book blew my mind, because the problem that we have is not a bunch of dudes in skirts trying to go into women's bathroom. As much as this is wrong, this is not where the actual problem is. Young women, as you were saying, is who's really at risk here. And Buck Angel, I reached out to him from that book because he's one of the people in that book. I reached out to him. I'm like, bro, I'm a conservative Christian. I have some questions for you. I would love to have you on camera and record something so that I can question your values. He's like, absolutely, let's do it. And that dude has a massive following. He doesn't need me. Yet, it's one of the best conversations I had. I actually have respect for the guy because he admits that he has a psychological problem. In the same way, are you going to start taking a diet advice from somebody that's bulimic or somebody that's that has an eating disorder? Of course not. So why do we do it from them? This is what blows my mind. So I'll leave it at that because this is a rabbit hole that to me is pointless to go down. But I've had so many conversations with these type of individuals that are like, hey, I have a problem. I'm the first one to admit that I have a problem. So why are we allowing the patients to run the asylum?
Yeah. I mean, Tavia,
just drop it.
Well, hold on. No, she's I want to give her her take. She is she's educated, clearly, and she works at a trans health clinic. But she does say here, I think she'll learn about the WPATH process. It literally looks exactly what you're saying. WPATH is not a medical organization; it's activist. The leader 100%. Of it, I believe her name is Susie Richards. She is not a doctor. WPATH is basically a discredited organization. There's a lot, and there's one of the biggest issues is people are taking WPATH as some kind of authority, and they're not. They're activists, and it's I know that everyone on this debate is trying to get the issue right, and it's obviously a hot button topic, and it can definitely get emotions going. I know that obviously if Tavia works at a clinic, I'm sure she cares for these patients. But just the fact that there's such a large number of detransitioners out there means that even if there are some people like Buck Angel who will benefit from transitioning, the fact that there are so many who really regret it and feel like their lives are over means that I think we should be showing a degree of caution that we're not really showing right now. And frankly, kids, I think should just be left alone. Puberty is something like 90% of trans identified people who are allowed to go through puberty desist. It's the cure for it, not we
need to go back to a time of Buck Angel. If you listen to the way they transitioned back then in the 90s, he was one of the first cases to do it. This was not done one visit at the doctor and you get out of there and you have Lupron, you have steroids, you're ready to go. No, they didn't. This was a process that took years of counseling. I remember there was a guy around where I lived in Ottawa that used to walk around as a full dude. Beard, big guy, wore a dress, high heels. He needed for a year or two just dress as a woman. That was part of the steps to be allowed to take the next step. This has been completely
now
removed
it's just affirmation
from the equation. And just the fact that we allow for what they call affirmation care is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. A psychologist's job or a psychiatrist's job is not to reaffirm your belief, is to question them, is to try to understand where those beliefs come from and identify the issue. Reaffirming care is not care at all. At all. It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. This is not psychology. It is not psychiatry. Absolutely idiotic. And again, look at Buck Angel being the perfect example. Look at Billboard Chris, perfect example. I've recorded multiple times with Billboard Chris, met him in real life. He knows what he's talking about. He's going all over the world doing this. Just talk to those people instead of just staying in an echo chamber and talking to the trans themselves. How about you talk to the detransitioner? How about you talk to the other people like the Buck Angels of this world that are hated on by the trans movement?
Once they transition,
he's the original trans. He's the original trans in the US is literally Buck Angel. And he's being hated on for saying, maybe you need to leave the kids out of this as an adult. It's one thing, but I have a psychological problem.
And Buck didn't transition until he was an adult, right? He was definitely over 25. And he'll be the first to say, again, I have a psychological condition. I mean, at the end of the day, That's the whole point. Is gender dysphoria is you don't see your body the way it actually is. No different from body dysmorphia, which is what people who have anorexia have. They don't see their body in a way that reflects reality. Now, we don't treat anorexia with liposuction and affirmation. And why would we treat gender dysphoria, which is basically the same condition, except instead of weight, what's distorted is your gender or your sex. Why would we treat that with surgeries and hormones? Again, if you're an adult, fill your boots, do whatever you want. I just don't think we should be
100%.
children. Yeah.
Adults, man, do whatever you want. I totally agree with you. Couldn't care. You want to chop your 2 legs off and live in a wheelchair? Go for it. I don't care. It's the kids that bothers me. Keep that shit out of school. Keep that reaffirming care out of children. Children, psychology is about questioning your belief to try to get to the root of the problem. Not telling you that the way that you feel is normal or the way that you feel is not normal, so take drugs. Makes no sense. No sense at all. And that's not just for drugs like Lupron. It's the same thing for antidepressant drugs. Now we have people living on this shit for the rest of their life when they were created in order to take your head from under the water, from putting you to a normal where you could start addressing the problem. Antidepressants weren't meant to be something you consume for the rest of your life. They're literally there to save you from killing yourself. That's what they were invented for. Yet now people live off of them instead of dealing with their problems because our fucking psychologists and psychiatrists do reaffirming care. No. You're supposed to question people's values. You're supposed to question them. It's supposed to suck to go to the psychiatrist and the psychologist. You're supposed to be challenged.
Yeah, and I think psychiatry in general has just gotten very, very drug happy, right?
Of course,
and of course, because they're being pushed by the big pharma, right? But at the end of the day, and I have no doubts that there are some people who these drugs are their appropriate treatment, but it's just like it's the only treatment. It's immediately given. Nothing like so many people that are just pumped full of antidepressants would be in so much better shape if they just did some lifestyle changes, like took care of themselves. Yeah, of course you're depressed. You live a depressing life. Look at you. Like you don't take care of your body. Your health is failing. Anyone will be depressed. That doesn't mean that, there aren't people for whom these drugs are appropriate. It's just, it seems like nowadays that's the only treatment that's considered is to drug them up. And, I think that is, it's of course, because that's, a lot of these doctors, I think most doctors are trying to do the right thing, but you cannot escape the impact of big pharma money, right? It is absolutely permeates everything that is in the healthcare system, probably more so in America than in Canada, but certainly it has to factor in here as well.
Well, that's one of the conversations I had with Billboard Chris, because I was also thinking that it's big money, but in his opinion, from the people that he's met all over the world, it's not even about the money. The main people, like the people that run WPATH, actually believe in this. They actually believe.
Well, they're activists.
The thing,
right? So
what would you like to have? Would you rather have a dead son or an alive daughter?
A living daughter, like that? And every single detransitioner I've ever heard says that phrase is what was manipulated their parents into convincing them. And of course it would be manipulative. Can you imagine to tell a parent who's just wants their kid to be healthy, what would you rather, a living son or a dead daughter? That's the epitome of manipulative. I've heard so many detransitioners who say they were never suicidal, and yet their therapists were telling their parents this. There's a lot of anger out there. There's a lot of anger from a lot of people who are very young, early 20s, and their lives are over as they know it because their parents were bamboozled by activist therapists. Not every therapist, of course, but a lot of them are out there.
Do you want to close it off? Do you want to take 45 minutes, 45 seconds to watch Pierre Polievre's video? It's literally 45 seconds long.
Well, if you want to get in under 2 hours.
No, it's fine. It's fine, bro.
Okay. Yeah. Play the video and then we'll
finish on a funny note. Okay. Here is Pierre Poliev admitting that he's worried for the safety of his family and himself after receiving multiple death threats.
I worry for my family. I'll be honest with you. We have had very serious
Nobody
threats.
cares about you.
To the point where the RCMP decided that it merited protection for my family and I for over a prolonged period of time. And they've been multiple, and they have been serious threats. I think we need to secure all of our political leaders, not just me. I think all the political leaders and ministers who face real threats according to the RCMP's assessment, they should have protection so that something like this does not happen on our turf here in Canada.
Yeah, how about no? You know what? If those same people don't want me to have guns, you shouldn't be allowed to have security guards with guns. Plain and simple. You're no different than me. So, but this obviously was recorded because of
Pierre. No one's going out of their way to kill you, brother. You're just not that important.
No. I would love to see the death threat that he received over mine.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the numbers. Let's compare notes. Because you know what, bro? No, nobody's going to shoot you. Yeah, nobody's going to shoot you, man. You're a liberal. At the end of the day, if liberals shoot you, they're shooting a liberal. So, no. But it's funny how, most of our government needs to be more protected. No. If you're taking my guns away, that means you should not have security guards protecting you because guns kill people, right? So why would you be protected when I can't protect myself? So, no, absolutely not. But I thought it was a funny note. It's a funny way to finish the show. So there you go, man.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We're going to put a pin in there. Excellent conversation, excellent debate, as always. A little bit spirited, but hopefully it seems like it was pretty respectful. And, we're all just trying to get it right. And I think, again, that's what this show does best. That's what's great about this show is get all these people from all over the political spectrum, different viewpoints, and we just hash it out. Rick says, nice to meet you guys. Thanks for coming on, brother. You and Nico.
And Tavia, thanks for your comments. Don't think that we were ripping into you. We just disagree, but nice to have you on. There's no hate here. Sorry. Rob's kind of an asshole, so.
Yeah, guys, we'll pin her there. Folks, if you like the show, if you like what Nico and I are doing here, the space we're trying to create, please consider, obviously the best way you can show me back. Oh, yes, I have no doubt that you will.
So we're looking forward to it.
Yes. She's cute too, eh? Thanks for the great show.
Hey, bro, stop it. Can you not concentrate? Close the fucking show and shut the hell up.
Folks, please remember, like and share the stream. That is the bare minimum that you can do. It won't cost you a thing. But if you really want to support the show, support the independent media and the work that Nico and I do here and help build the community, you can become a member through YouTube for the low price of $2.99 per month. And that will help us continue to bring you the high quality content that we do every day.
If you want to see Rob hit on our commenters,
yes,
help us grow. Right?
I am definitely hitting on Tavia for sure. Guys, other than that, enjoy the rest of your night. Be safe tomorrow. Have fun. We'll catch you tomorrow night, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Peace.